which develops with chills. Usually the development of the sore throat can lead to other problems. It can lead to breathing problems, paralysis, heart failure, and even death. Tetanus, it lives in the womb, and that is like lockjaw. If you get a cut and the bacteria goes into the womb, deep into the womb, then you could become tetanus and you get lockjaw, and the lockjaw can move from the lockjaw to other parts of the body like the muscles. Pertussis is the whooping cough, and that is the germ that lives in the mouth, throat, and nose and infect person. It spreads through the coughing and sneezing. Poliomyelitis, that affects the joints, and it is a virus, and it could be contacted through feces and droplets from the nose and the mouth.
Okay, so you gave like explanations on what all of these different shots are, but is it, for example, do you get one vaccination for diphtheria, or is it a combination of diphtheria and tetanus together? How is it done?
It's a combination of 5 together.
Okay, so those five names that you just explained in one vaccination.
Injection.
Okay, quick question. Has these diseases been common though in the Caribbean? Because I'm assuming that it has been, and that is why these vaccinations are given. And can someone still get the diseases even though they've been vaccinated? Or the babies?
The chances are very slim, because if they get all the vaccinations, we don't really have no one that came back and said I got the vaccinations and they still have it, because these are vaccinations that has been going on for years and years and years, and they have run all these tests, and so far they've been successful.
Okay. Sabrina, is there anything else concerning the vaccination that you want to add or give explanation for?
Okay, so the vaccination that are given are important to, let's say, eliminate those diseases that we don't want around no more. So we vaccinate against the diphtheria, polio, tetanus, and also hepatitis B that was added like 10 years ago.
Yes.
And what exactly is hepatitis B?
It's a liver disease that can be transmitted through blood or sexual contact. Or transferred from the mother also to the child. So that is also, we've also vaccinate against that. There also has more vaccinations that can also be, you can get them at a pediatrician if you would like to get, let's say, the tuberculosis and the chicken pox and the flu vaccine. Those are not included in our vaccine program because it's not, let's say, life-threatening disease that you have to vaccinate against. So the government funds the vaccines that are important for the child life, and then those additional you can always buy them.
Okay, but what if a parent comes to you and says, well, I want the vaccination for the flu? What do you then advise them to go to the pediatrician and to their house doctor?
Yes, they go to the pediatrician, and of course they have the yellow card that we provide with all the vaccine that we give. So then the other the doctor or the pediatrician that administered the other vaccine knows when last they get the other vaccines, and they can write it on so that we can also know what is given at their office.
Okay, you talked about the cards and the book being filled out, but I realized that on the Dutch side of St. Martin, especially with the baby book, that is hardly ever used. Would you know what is the reason for that? Especially, for example, I know all doctors have their files. So when you go, especially, and I can talk from my experience, the doctors have their file where they keep all of the information, but hardly ever is the baby book filled out.
By the doctors?
Yeah.
Because here at the baby clinic we use it, and you will have a whole record of the child's birth weight up to the time, the last time that you could come to the baby clinic, the weight, the length, the measurement of the head, etc. So we do use it here, but the doctors are the ones who are supposed to actually do the physical at every quarterly actually. So like at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, when they do the early detection, then they should fill that in. Here at the clinic, sometimes, most of the times, as long as we do it and the mother is not taking the child to the doctor, we do fill in that early detection. So you would see if there was any abnormalities of the child.
Okay, you said 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. What exactly are you looking for then in those months when you said that you do like it's a more extensive check that you do on the babies?
Yes, because then you check the capabilities. Could they lift up their head at a 45 degrees angle?
Okay.
Could they turn over? Do they make sounds? Are they following you with their eyes? Are you walk into the room, you would talk and they would respond? Are they hearing you, etc.? All of that.
So what, have you ever had an instance where, for example, a child was 3 or 6 months and you have these different capabilities, like you said, that they should be able to do, and they're not doing it, and then what do you tell a parent then if you realize this?
Sometimes the child could be a little bit overweight, and that could be one of the reasons why they are not really lifting up or turning over. And if they're not doing that, we would do it at maybe a month or two later and see how it is. If they're not responding accordingly, then we would refer them to the pediatrician and let the pediatrician double check us and see, what else he should do.
Okay. Any other information you would like to share with us for the vaccinations?
We did not talk about the mumps, measles, and rubella.
Okay.
That one, we do it when the child is 1 year old.
Okay.
So the mumps, measles, and rubella is against the mumps, as it says. The measles, that is the rash all over the skin with a little bit of fever and so. And the rubella is...
What is the rubella, really?
Is a virus that's caused by a rash, mild fever, swollen glands, and arthritis. If a woman gets rubella while she's pregnant, she might have the miscarriage, or her baby could be born with serious birth defects, such as deafness, blindness, or other problems of like heart defects.
Okay, ladies, you talked about the various vaccinations that are given, and I'm so happy that you mentioned the last 3 there about mumps, measles, and rubella, because I've realized that measles is really something of the past. I remember when I was growing up, people would still get the measles and the mumps, but really I haven't heard about it in years. The chicken pox, on the other hand, even though that it's not a vaccination that you guys give, is one that seems to be coming back in. What is the reason that you don't give the chicken pox vaccination?
It is a child disease, children disease, that the pediatrician prefer them to get it.
Oh,
because
okay.
when they get it, the immune is better against it than if you give them the chickenpox, the varicella vaccine. Because when you get a varicella vaccine, you can still get the chickenpox.
Right.
So that's why he just says, okay, just get it at a young age and get it over with. So that is a reason that is not important enough to be, let's say, every child has to get it.
Okay, good. All right, ladies, now we've talked about measles, mumps, chickenpox. Let's go into a topic that I hold very dear to my heart, which is breastfeeding. And I do understand that you have a celebration coming up concerning breastfeeding. Can you go a bit in depth concerning that?
The first week of August, we have Worldwide Breastfeeding Week, which we still have to organize the activities because we just came out to the vaccination week activities. So now we're going to, but we are planning to do highlights about breastfeeding, either through media, TV, newspaper. So we're still debating on that.
Okay, and Ms. Richardson, could you tell us what you know as a mother are the benefits of breastfeeding?
Breastfeeding has a lot to offer the child. Number one, it protects them against certain diseases. It gives them a good foundation on nutrition, and it brings that bond with the mother and child. And also the mother has a lot to gain from it because it really fits her back into line. The uterus, for one, it pulls right back into place. And as it is said before, you can even use it as a form of contraceptive.
But we also heard women say that that they were breastfeeding and they still became pregnant. So
Yeah, of course, it's not 100%.
It's not 100% safe.
But I can attest to that because and also you're talking about the birth control, but also about your menstrual cycle, because I breastfed my first son for a long period, and I actually did not go through that cycle maybe for another year after. And I was quite surprised, but I was told that had also to do with the fact that I was breastfeeding. So you talked about the importance of the breastfeeding and the nutrition, but I could also attest to what I think is, besides the bonding and the bond that it gives to you as a mother, the intelligence and that brain development that a child also gets through breastfeeding. And I'm very happy to know that you're going to be having that week of information concerning breastfeeding, but I wish that something more can be done concerning the breastfeeding, because I believe it's at your baby clinic that one of the doctors that was there actually told me that they really stress with the mothers that come in the importance of the breastfeeding.